Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're going to finally start getting our answer on female Adeptus Custodes for Warhammer, because apparently they are going to be releasing, according to a leaked email, they're going to be releasing official miniatures for female Adeptus Custodes in 2025 in June. Now, this is something that should have happened a long time ago, right? Because if you're going to come out and try to gaslight your fans and tell them that female Adeptus Custodes have always existed, even though they never did, and just tell them like it was there, you just couldn't see it, right? It was there, and it was always been there, and you just couldn't see it. Well, if that's the case, then you should have had miniatures ready to go the moment you were about to drop that absolute banger of a gaslight, but they didn't, and now their foot is against the fire, and they're pretty much forced to have to come up with something soon. Otherwise, people are going to be like, well, if they were always there, then where the hell are they?
At that point, because literally 5 or 6 times, he had called me sir and got me so fuming angry, and I was cussing that.
The internet responding to the viral clip with memes like Superman, Aquaman, and Macho Man, Tranny Savage. Tranny is a slang term for transgender that many find offensive and derogatory.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have an apparent leaked email going over all of this nonsense, and basically it's just a rumor, right? So I just want to preface this. It's a rumor, take it with a grain of salt, but I will say that I'm surprised that they didn't come out with this sooner rather than later. And the fact that they're coming out with it in 2025, allegedly, doesn't really shock me, because they have to come out with it soon. Otherwise, the woke are going to eat their own. So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Polls. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says again, alleged Games Workshop email reveals company doubling down on female Adeptus Custodes with planned miniature for Horus Heresy 3.0. An alleged accidental email from Games Workshop seems to confirm the female Adeptus Custodes. This week, the Warhammer 40k community started buzzing that perhaps Games Workshop might be walking back their change of the lore to where there are female Adeptus Custodes, when the original works always stated that they were male. Now, the reason for this, I made a video on this twice now, is simply because there was an ultimate guide that was released from some of the people who worked on the lore all the way back since 2008, and now that particular ultimate guide said that it was a brotherhood. It called them a brotherhood, right? It didn't call them a gathering like they tried to do with Games Workshop when they announced female Adeptus Custodes, and they changed it from brotherhood to gathering because that clearly makes sense. No, they didn't call it that. They called it brotherhoods. So they ended up coming up with an excuse as to why it was called brotherhoods when Gav Thorpe over on his Blue Sky said the following. He said that he was asked about the situation on Blue Sky and quickly squashed any notion about this being a reversal of Games Workshop pushing female Adeptus Custodes. He replied, yes, of course they are. Not every miniature is included, and I don't recall exactly, but we may have already finished that section when the series/miniature went public. DK did have access to pre-release pictures. Now, again, there is currently still no female Adeptus Custodes miniatures, at least not in official capacity anyway, so it's not acknowledged in anything other than the announcement when they said that there was, in fact, for 10,000 years or whatever, female Adeptus Custodes. So that's what sent everybody into a meltdown. And then we have here, this fueled internet speculation that female Adeptus Custodes miniatures were in the works, something that has not been done despite the change in the 10th edition lore books to include them, as well as showing one in the animated short The Tith. Further fueling the rumors, a Warhammer 40k fan account, Crypta Miniatures, on X posted the following. Do you know that they released a show about it? They have an entire release coming with female Adeptus Custodes next year for Horus Heresy 3.0 even. When questioned about this assertion, the account posted what he claims to be a portion of a mistake email from Games Workshop detailing a planned release for June of 2025, which says the following. Horus Heresy 3.0 campaign, the introduction of a female Custodes tribune to lead a specialized contingent of the Legio Custodes, the possibility of portraying a Custodes tribune who defies expectations, showing that the Empire's elite defenders might be Mo, and then it kind of cuts off from there because it's a snippet from an email. So we don't know if this email is real. I don't understand why they would want to fake it this hard. I get that there's accounts that will do that, especially when there's clout associated with it. So again, take this with a grain of salt, but it is not crazy to think that female Adeptus Custodes miniatures are going to be coming out this year, simply because they should have came out already. You cannot do this virtue signal with all of your chests and have nothing to show for it, right? Because that's exactly what they've been doing for months now. They've been trying to convince Warhammer fans that they are wrong about the lore. They've been trying to tell everybody and gaslight them and tell them female Adeptus Custodes have always existed, and they have nothing to show for it. So they started with the TV show, and now they're going to start to do it with the miniatures, and before you know it, it's going to be fully fleshed out like everything else, and then they're going to say, well, look, there's the miniatures now. There's the miniatures. Go buy them if you want your female Adeptus Custodes. That's exactly what they're going to do. So then several fans have questioned the authenticity of this email, though Cryptid Miniatures maintains it's correct, and that there are about 30 more items listed in the email from Games Workshop as a plan for upcoming releases throughout 2025. He posted about it again and said, just FYI, Femstodes, which that's so gay. Like, Femstodes sounds stupid, aren't going away at all. In fact, Games Workshop is going to be doubling down after 3.0 releases of Horus Heresy with more Custodes updates and moving everything to plastic from resin. Custodes 3.0 Tribune is rumored to have female head option per the accidental email #Warhammer community. So that's another thing too. Apparently they're moving from resin to plastic. I'm not a tabletop fan, so I don't know if whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. I've heard both from people. I've heard plastic is better. Some people have said resin is better. I don't know. So you guys can argue in the comments about that one if you like, but I'm not a tabletop gamer, so I don't know if one or the other is better. But then Fandom Pulse reached out to Cryptid Miniatures asking if there's further confirmation we could be given. And he maintains that the screenshot is very real and that Games Workshop is investigating the incident as to how it got out. Why would you even care how it got out? It's not like this is a surprise. You know what I mean? This is not shocking, right? I mean, people know female Adeptus Custodes exists according to your gaslight tweet. So why would it be shocking that female Adeptus Custodes miniatures are going to be worked on, let alone released? You guys should have released it already by now, in my opinion. There's no reason why you should have waited this long, because all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire every month that you go without actually giving any evidence of a female Adeptus Custode. So once you do that, then everybody can be like, well, looks like Games Workshop's going to triple down at this point. Let's move on. And that's exactly what's going to happen. People are going to, whether they're hardcore fans or not, listen, the hardcore fans are going to buy it no matter what. Let's be real, right? These people have been playing Warhammer for decades. You think they're going to stop now randomly because of a female Adeptus Custode? Sure, some of them most definitely will. There's no doubt about it. I've gotten comments from people telling me how long they've played and how they're suddenly going to stop because of what Games Workshop is doing. But that's only a few people. The majority of people, from what I can see, are going to keep playing because they're just going to 3D print their own stuff at the end of the day. So it's ridiculous at this point. And again, he provided more information about the supposed Horus Heresy 3.0 campaign, however, stating dark mechanisms will be the big bad of this iteration. So I don't really know what else is going to come from this particular update. All we know is that supposedly there's going to be female Adeptus Custodes, and there's going to be a couple other things in this update as well that is going to be important for Warhammer fans to know. Whether or not we're going to get some more information earlier in this year, time will tell. But with a release date for June of 25 coming up, I gotta imagine within the next couple of months, we're going to hear something officially from Games Workshop. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.